This evening I will do a video of the Gun Hill Signal Station, which is in St. George, Barbados. This is the bar where you can purchase your drinks and beverages and so on. And I will now go on this above deck here and overlook most of St. George. This is the St. George Valley here, which is in the center of the island. So right now I'm 700 feet above sea level, and this is the above terrace at the Gun Hill Signal Station overlooking the St. George Valley. You can see all to the estates at Bordy Hall in St. George, all at the Constant and Dash Valley, and you can see all of the St. George Parish Church, and you can see all of the Tate Hill and Walker, which is just below where I am. So I will now walk down through to the signal station. So yes guys, the Gun Hill Signal Station is a property of the Barbados National Trust. The Gun Hill Signal Station was established in 1818 as a fortress to signal when the enemies were coming in. So yes guys, the Gun Hill Signal Station offers awesome views of 8 out of the 11 parishes in Barbados. You can back up towards the restaurant section. So Gun Hill Signal Station is usually $12 per entry per person. So I'm headed to the signal station itself. So right now we are just above the lion sculpture statue, which was built in 1868 by Captain Henry Wilkinson, who was an officer at the signal station. So this is the lion statue here, which is at the bottom below the signal station. This is the lion here, and a brief history of the Gun Hill Signal Station below here. So this is the Gun Hill Signal Station here, which gives views of 6 out of the 11 parishes in Barbados. So this is looking down to Gun Hill Main Road, and you can see the lion statue here, which was carved in 1868 by Captain Henry Wilkinson, who was an officer at the signal station. So the lion is just east of the Gun Hill Signal Station. So I'm looking in the easterly direction now. We can see a bit of St. Philip, which is southeast, and Christchurch, which is to the south. We can see all up to the Grantley Adams International Airport in Christchurch, which is to the south. The Grantley Adams International Airport is Barbados' only port of entry by air. So this is Gun Hill Road here, and further downhill now will be to Tate Hill. Tate Hill is just below Gun Hill, and then you'll be heading towards the Glebe, by the Glebe Polyclinic and St. George Welfare Office, and then you'll be heading towards St. George Parish Church, which is just downhill. So Gun Hill Signal Station is 700 feet above sea level, situated in the central parish of St. George here in Barbados. So we can see St. George Parish Church, which is in the center of the screen. St. George Parish Church is the second oldest place of worship in Barbados. St. George Parish Church is the second center of the screen, which was built in 1641 and rebuilt in 1784. So St. George Parish Church is the second oldest place of worship after St. James. St. James Parish Church is the first place of worship in Barbados, which was built in 1629. St. George is also referred to as the breadbasket of Barbados, and it is also the parish where you can get your ground provisions sold at plantations within the parish, which was the Valley Plantation, Brighton Plantation, and Sweetvale Plantation. Looking in a westerly direction now, this is south here, which is Christchurch. And then in a westerly direction now towards Roberts Manufacturing, which is at Lower Estate in St. George. You can see Roberts from here. And you can see all into Bridgetown, which is the country's capital. Bridgetown. This is the country's capital. Bridgetown is in Shipwickle, southwest. And you can see all into the Bridgetown port and the water harbour. You can see into the Warrens area, which is to the western side. Over here, the Warrens business and commercial area. Warrens was an agricultural area first. And then in the late 80s, early 90s, when they started to make provision for the highway, then they started to move businesses out of town into the area. So we can see Warren's area over here. And we can see over to the Chefette Warehouse, Chef Foods, which is at Layers in St. Michael. We can see St. Thomas, which is another central parish in Barbados, all at the Shop Hill and Edge Hill. And this is the, let's call it, the CBC antenna for the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, which is at Gun Hill in St. George. You can see the other CBC antenna, which is at Sturgis in St. Thomas, which is just close to Harrison's Cave, and so on. So this is the above terrace at the Gun Hill signal station. So this is a building of historic and architectural interest. Gun Hill signal station was opened by the Right Honourable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, Queen's Counsel and Member of Parliament, on November 24th, 1982, restored by the Barbados National Trust. Again, another awesome view of the St. George Valley. Here again. And this is the restoration of Gun Hill Signal Station in 1982. Genesis of signal stations and lookout within the context of the Atlantic world. Lookouts and vantage points in Barbados, a defensive necessity. And from Briggs Hill to Gun Hill, it was officially Briggs Hill, but it got renamed Gun Hill afterwards. Military history of Barbados right here. And the history of the Victoria Cross. And Prince Edward, planting a Sixium Malacent tree at Gun Hill Signal Station on the 1st of March 1987. is St. George Valley. Looking in a southerly direction between St. George to the front and Christ Church to the back, which is in the south. And this is the kitchen section. The U-boat war in the Caribbean. So this is the walkway back to the entrance to the signal station. On the list of the 5 signal stations they have in Barbados, starting from Dover Fort in St. Peter, which is to the north of the island. Grenade Hall in St. Peter as well, which is to the north. Grenade Hall is to the north of the island in St. Peter. Cotton Tower is in St. Joseph, which is northeast. Highgate in St. Michael, which is southwest. And Moncrief in St. Philip, which is to the east. I'm now upstairs now, looking down. So we can see over to St. Thomas now, which is another central parish here on the island. St. Thomas and St. George are the 2 central parishes here in Barbados. Best referred to as the heart of Barbados or the central uplands of Barbados. We can see all up to Grandview Heights in Shop Hill, St. Thomas. We can see Applewaite with the former West Indies Records Limited, which is at Applewaite, St. Thomas, which later became the Barbados Packaging Industry, which it still is today. We can see the Cuthbert Moore Primary School, which is at Market Hill in St. George, and we can see all of the St. Thomas, all of the Sturges, where the CBC antenna is at Sturges in St. Thomas, and all of the Jack in the Box Goodie and so on. So thank you guys for watching now, and do have a blessed evening.